Even your frontal cortex doesn't stop developing until you're like 21.
Yeah.
And that's their decision-making part of the brain. In my opinion, I don't think humans were supposed to develop this much.
Wave.
Sorry. Like, you don't get a break. You get maybe a summer, but like even then, you're still busy as heck. Gives an healthy outlet that doesn't weigh in on people close to you. Not saying that you shouldn't talk to people you're close to about like any issues you're dealing with, but you know, like to the extent, I suppose.
I can definitely get what you're saying. You don't want to overwhelm a person that you're close with to make them draw away from you.
Yeah, and then people are in different parts of their life than you are. So if you're asking for advice, they may not give you advice that would serve you
in
at where
time.
you're at.
Yeah.
So you would get like a professional who can gauge all of that and determine what kind of advice to offer.
Do you think that's because they're coming from an objective point of view?
Define objective.
Not having any feelings or emotions in you as a person or in the situation.
I definitely think someone who's not related to the situation can help because they see perspectives, because you have biases.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're able to give you other ones. But also, like, if you have a good therapist and you've opened up to them to like where it would best serve you, I guess, like you're not like withholding back stuff, they would be able to take those into account too.
Yeah. Given experience, it's hard to go in and say how you truly feel to somebody sometimes, you know? And that's where a lot of therapists, at least in the experience that I've had in talking with different therapists, it's where they might have problems just because a lot of people don't want to show how fucked up they can be, you know? Like, yes, I know that I made a wrong decision. I know that what I did was bad. I know I shouldn't be having these thoughts. However, I am. They could hurt people. They hurt myself. They make me feel bad. I'm hurting people and like hurting their feelings. And sometimes people don't want to show that, you know?
Not just that, but depending on like the person and what experience they've had with people like similarly with that, it can impact the relationship.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Because somebody that is close to you, you don't want them to change their perspective on you. You know? Because think about it, right? A lot of people have problems talking to their parents with different feelings that they might have about them, etc., because they don't want to, one, ruin the relationship they have with their parents, or two, like they want to make sure they're respectful, right? And by telling them the truth about how they might particularly feel might come off as quote unquote disrespectful, even though that's how they personally feel.
I could go so long on that topic.
And so if you truly feel this way, you should be able to express that. And so a lot of people have to wait or choose to wait until they are adults to say this to a decrepit adult as their parent. That hurts their parent because, one, the person is a person, and so they're feeling like, well, dang, like, you know, I tried to do everything that I could, etc. That's a common rhetoric with parents. You know, I tried to do everything that I could to make sure I was doing the best by you, or I was trying my best, etc. And it's hard to hear your best wasn't good enough. It's hard to hear that you messed up in certain ways raising a child, you know, raising me. Saying that to that person, because we're gonna move parents and we're gonna move that to the category of people. So saying that to that person, it changes their perspective on you as well.
Yeah.
And so in order to not have that happen, a lot of people just don't say anything, especially as kids, you know, or just like younger adults where you don't feel confident enough or emboldened enough to say something along those lines. Because a lot of that is a very volatile conversation. Then we have the therapist. So, I mean, I get it. And I do agree with you. Like, I think most people should go to therapy. Personally.
I need more therapists out there, but we also need more teachers.
Yeah.
We also need a lot of things. Make your decisions wisely.
For sure. Congress, yes.
Oh, bro, nah, that's a whole nother topic.
What's up?
Making people choose their profession and stuff, and like determining all of that like pretty much right after school, at least like America's society, I feel like is so stupid, because like even your frontal cortex doesn't stop developing until you're like 21.
Yeah.
And that's their decision making part of the brain.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's different for the genders. It's different age for genders, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's something that I truly just don't understand. You know, you are enforcing, and I hate to say kids.
Capitalism.
Capitalism, exactly. Capitalism is everything. But you're forcing kids to make decisions about their life that will forever change their life so young, you know, when they haven't even finished figuring out themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
And so many people are burnt out too.
Exactly.
Like, you don't get a break, you get maybe a summer, but like even then you're still busy as heck.
Exactly.
Oh.
That's what people don't understand. Like, going through regular education, right? Not even higher ed, but just regular education. You're going through 12 years. 13 really if you're counting preschool. So, or kindergarten. So 13 years, you get a summer, and it's like, okay, choose if you want to go to college or not. And then put in 4 more years. And then like the bachelor's is slowly dying away. So now it's like, okay, cool, you know, put in a couple more years for a master's, you know?
Even like some common jobs. I mean,
yeah.
you can't get jobs without slips of paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's
really ludicrous.
Stupid.
Exactly.
Can I just like reference Lana Del Rey song, or at least the title, freaking Born to Die?
Born to Die.
Like,
yeah, literally, which is why it's so hard for people to feel free.
Right.
You know.
The society, like, in my opinion, I don't think humans were supposed to develop this much. Like, I feel like we have a little too much information. It's slowly destroying us.
I'm not upset at how humans have developed. I am upset at how the route that we took, because we could have gone down the same path, right, in the sense of development, but gone down a completely different route.
Yeah.
And still had our same modern technologies, but it being utilized in different ways. To where, for example, like us having air conditioning and stuff like that, that's great.
I love air conditioning so much.
You said what? You love it?
Yeah. It's broken in my car right now. I'm dying.
I'm so sorry. But see, the thing is though, right? We could have air conditioning if we just had more trees. If we had more trees, it would cool the planet. Generally speaking, and I grew up in Fayetteville, so there's a lot of trees and stuff around. Whenever I'm back in Fayetteville, it's cool. It's always cool. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it'll get hot for sure, but you don't feel it as much. There are multiple different neighborhoods throughout Fayetteville where there are just multiple trees, you know, and it feels so cool. If you just had that more widespread, you wouldn't feel a 90-degree day.
It's like 96 here, the one that I've seen.
Exactly.
With the freaking 66-degree humidity.
Exactly, and that's the thing, you know? But we cut down all these trees because we haven't found, or we choose not to look for a way to cohabitate within them. So instead we take them.
We're really working against ourselves.
We are.
Like,
we are.
They're, even just with generalized medicine, they're
I don't
so...
take medicine.
Yeah. My grandpa, he like specializes in homeopathy.
What is that?
Let me pull up the definition so I'm not talking out of my ass. An alternative approach to medicine based on the belief that natural substances prepared in a special way and most often used in very small amounts restore health. And it works.
There we
They've
go.
done it, like, I mean, I've had a lot of his remedies and they've helped significantly.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me a remedy. Can you remember any off the top of your head?
No. There's,
Okay.
I mean, they have like a whole bunch of charts and like it's very down to the T. I can probably hook you up with them if you wanted to, but like,
please,
even just with just like your teeth, there's something called like the meridian chart.
Okay.
And if you have like specific problems like occurring more than once in like a specific tooth, you can check to see which kind of organs those are tied to. Like,
because everything's connected.
Yeah.
Got you.
So there's a lot there. Yeah.
Please hook me up. Yeah,
I got you.
That's what's up. But see, that's the thing though, like, these are things that we aren't taught.
It's because It's not the government, dude.
Yeah, literally.
The government is trying to put a stop to it. Like, several of the stuff that has worked and that he's used is like the FDA has deemed like that you can't use, and they just give a bullshit excuse just because they want it off the market and stuff. Because,
and isn't that scary?
Right?
It's the fact that the government knows what things could help us, and they go in to specifically ban it or dox it to where it's like, okay, cool. If you want to use, and I'm just going to throw some shit out there. If you want to use lavender as a treatment for fungus, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to.
Work? Like, or is that
it actually does. It actually
word.
Does. Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like, you can make, like me, for example, I make my own lotions.
With what? Like beeswax?
No. So I use shea butter, mango butter, different oils in the sense, like targeting what I want to specifically target. For example, like a friend of mine had athlete's foot, right? And so I was like, all right, cool. He came to me. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I researched different things, like what is different oils that can help with athlete's foot, because it's basically a fungus, right? And so I found out that lavender also works really well. Okay, cool. So I make some lavender, rosemary oil, dandelion root, and then my shea and mango butters. Mixed it together, put a little castor oil just to like thicken the consistency. Gave it to him. He used it for about, and it's slower for sure, but he used it for about 3-4 months consistently. He doesn't have athlete's foot anymore.
That's great.
Yeah. Like that's the type of stuff that I choose to really like focus on, because it's like whenever I end up having kids, these are the type of knowledge that I want to give you. You know? Because you don't, like, honestly, I've gotten to the point where I can't use regular lotion.
Really?
Yeah, it feels slimy. Like, it really does. It's really weird now. Like, my body is really particular now. Like, I can't eat white bread. Like, I can, but
I love white bread, though.
Really?
It tastes delicious to me.
See, that's the thing. It used to. It really used to before. And then I started getting on, like, this 31 seed fiber whole grain bread that's just completely just all seeds and oats. And now, like, that tastes so good to me. I can't eat. I can, but it's like, ugh. It's really different. It's really different. My stomach will start hurting.
Wow.
I can't eat fast food. I'll end up being sick. Like,
That's cool.
It's really weird. Yeah.
It's really weird how your body works and builds up an intolerance to things once you stop using them.
Exactly. But that's what made me kind of scared at, like, the different stuff that's around. You know, not having soda over 2 years, something along those lines. Yeah, like, it's got me to the point where, like, I have no craving for soda, and whenever I do have it, it makes me like cough. Like I have to have water, you know.
I don't like soda in the first place. The carbonation feels like my insides are getting attacked.
Exactly. It's so bubbly.
Disgusting.
I don't like it.
Like, it makes me want to just like convulse.
Convulse is very accurate. Convulse is so accurate, man.
I can't. Whenever, like, I'm trying to take a sip of my drink and I accidentally grab my friends, I'm, like, coughing for 5 minutes.
That's
like,
what I'm saying, exactly.
Gasping for air.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing, like, I feel in another life like I was a humanistic scientist or something, because, like, because I look at a lot of these different things and I'm like, that's not natural. Like, I can't bring myself to do it. You know, I can't bring myself to be in it.
I think a lot of people view this stuff that way, but the way the system is built, it's not sustainable to try to live that way. And so, like, I mean, you could try to go